দেখতে পাচ্ছ তোমরা?
জি স্যার,
জি
দেখতে
স্যার,
পাচ্ছি।
দেখা যাচ্ছে।
Dear students, hopefully all of you are quite well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Here I am going to discuss on the course research methodology. Today I am going to discuss on chapter 2. The title of the chapter 2, defining the research problem. In our previous discussion on chapter 1, we have discussed on the several issues on research and research methodology, and hopefully we have got the clear concept about research methodology. But the first and foremost step that happens to be is selecting and properly research problem. So first of all, let me give you a common example. If you go to a medical doctor that you were suffering from a very pain in your belly, and the doctor wants to diagnose properly that whether the pain is in your stomach or in it is a appendicitis or it is a very common regular gastric or ulcer type pain. So to find out the problem, the doctor should diagnose you properly and give you the proper medication. So to define a problem correctly, a researcher must know what a problem is. In that relation, if I want to give you a very short definition of a research problem, you can say that a research problem is a question that a researcher wants to answer or a problem that a researcher wants to solve. But you may follow the general definition of research problem put it here, that a research problem in general refers to some difficulty which a researcher experiences in the context of either a theoretical or practical situation and wants to obtain a solution for the same. In that way, we can say that a research problem is an issue or a concern that an investigator or researcher presents and justifies in a research study. And here we should have a problem statement, and the researcher should find what should be happening and what is actually happening. Usually we say that a research problem does exist if the following conditions are met with. Number 1, there must be an individual or a group or an organization who will identify and formulate the research problem. That is the very first step of a research process. In number 2, there must be at least 2 courses of action. Okay, let us follow an example in this regard. This is an title, or we can say a research problem or a problem statement, that the influence of sports participation on academic performance among students in higher education. So here we are talking about the 2 courses of action. So in this title we can find out that the sports participation, that is the students participation in sports, and the effect on academic performance. So we can say that these are the 2 courses of action. In number 3, there must be at least 2 possible outcomes. That is the course of action of which one should be preferable to the other, that the researchers want to carry out the objectives of the research as outcome. If we follow through the example that we are discussing here, the influence of sports participation on academic performance among students in higher education. So here we can formulate the objectives as outcome, that the development of key skill consistent with educational values, and number 2, that could be the effect of sports participation on GPA scores. So here are the 2 possible outcomes that we can formulate as objective. And in number 4, I have highlighted in the last line. In simple words, we can say that the choices must have unequal efficiencies for the desired outcomes. That is, from our example, we can say that the chances of students will be unequal, because we can pick up students from different educational institutes and from different grades of students. That would be the difference in our research study. Thus, we can state the components of a research problem as under, that we have already discussed in our previous topic, and it is the summary version of the characteristics or the conditions of defining a research problem. So I am highlighting this as number one, there must be an individual or a group. Number two, there must be some objectives to be attended. Number three, there must be alternative means or the courses of action for obtaining the objectives. Number four, there must remain some doubt in the mind of a researcher with regard to the selection of alternatives. And number five, there must be some environments to which the difficulty pertains. And in conclusion, I have highlighted this as, thus a research problem is on which requires a researcher to find out the best solution for the given problem, that is, to find out by which course of action the objectives can be attained optimally in the context of a given environment. The following topic, selecting the problem. The research problem undertaken for study must be carefully selected. Although the task is a difficult one, it will be easy for the researcher if he get helps from a research guide. And here I can give you a very common example in this regard, that if you have any eye problem and if you want to check your eye to an optician, but the optician cannot decide himself, and you have to assist that what should be the power or lens that is required after observation. So to get rid of the problem, you have to assist the doctor with accurate information, and the doctor will give you proper medication. So the following points may be observed by a researcher in selecting a research problem or a subject for research. Number one, subject which is overdone should not be normally chosen. That is, we can say the very common example of smoking, and we all know that smoking is injurious to health, and here is nothing to prove that smoking is very harmful to our health. And number two, controversial subject should not become the choice of an average researcher. And we frequently talk about divorce issues, and here is a report on Prathama law, that one divorce per hour in Dhaka. And very recent, we are talking on Bill Gates' divorce with Melinda Gates. And as an average researcher, we cannot actually give our judgment on the divorce. So lots of discussion could be dealt with the divorce issue, but such a person on Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, it is actually controversial, so we should avoid it. Number three, too narrow or too vague problem should be avoided. Say for an example, if we fix a research problem titled "Do not drink water," so how do you understand from this topic that it is very narrow and it's too vague to understand that why should we not drink water? Number 4, the subject selected for research should be familiar and feasible so that the related research material of sources of research are within one's reach. In number 5, the researcher should consider the following problems underlined here: the importance of the subject, the qualifications and training of the researcher, the cost involved, and the time factor that must be considered. And the researcher must ask himself the following questions: that whether he is well equipped in terms of his background to carry out the research, or whether the study falls within the budget he can afford, and whether the necessary cooperation can be obtained from those who must participate in research as subjects. And finally, the number 6, the selection of a problem must be prepared by a preliminary study. Some well-developed techniques and feasibility study will be helpful to the researcher to conduct the remaining research activities. And finally, here is a highlighted topic. In fact, the gist for work is a must. That is, the subject or the problem selected by the researcher must have a strong connection with his mind, and he should devote himself to conduct the research by any means, and should be ready to undertake all pains needed for the study. Next topic is necessity of defining the problem. We quite often hear that a problem clearly stated is a problem half solved. This statement signifies that the needs for defining a research problem. Clearly, without a clear statement of the problem will never get solved. So, clearly stating the problem is not only essential to its solution, but must precede the solution. It will help us to gather relevant data and information, and our research will be conducted in a structured way, and we know from where our information will be collected, what sorts of data and information will be collected, and what are the relations that are to be explored, and what techniques are to be used according to our objectives, and similar other questions that will be cropped up in the mind of the researcher will be able to find answers to all such questions if the research problem is well defined. Thus, defining the research problem properly is a prerequisite for any study and is a step of the highest importance. Next topic: technique involved in defining a problem. Defining a problem simply means that the researcher has to lay down certain boundaries within which he or she has to study the problem with a predefined objective in mind. Defining a problem is a Herculean task, and this must be done intelligently to avoid confusions that arise in the research operation. Defining a research problem properly and clearly is a crucial part of a research study, and you should try to follow the below steps systematically to best define a problem. Number 1, state the problem in a general way. 2, understand the nature of the problem. Number 3, survey the available literature. Number 4, go for discussions for developing ideas. And number 5, rephrase the research problem into a working proposition. Here I am giving a brief description of the following topics. Number 1, statement of the problem in a general way. So here we have to decide how to define a problem in a general way. That we should study the related subject thoroughly, and we have to do a preliminary survey or pilot survey. Say for an example, does negative news interest people more than positive news? It is a problem statement in general way, but then the researcher tried to narrow it down and phrase the problem in operational terms. Then it would be like, does negative news such as robbery, corruption interest people more than positive news like country's economic growth? Side by side, the feasibility of a particular solution has to be considered, and the same should be kept in view while stating the problem. Next point, understanding the nature of the problem. The next step in defining the problem is to understand its origin and nature clearly. The researcher needs to discuss the problem with those related to the subject matter in order to clearly understand the origin of the problem, its nature, objectives, and the environment in which the problem is to be studied. Next point, surveying the available literature. Survey all the research which are already undertaken in a related problem. The researcher must devote sufficient time in reviewing of research already undertaken in the relevant theories, reports and records to find out what data and materials are available for operational purposes. Next point, developing the ideas through discussions. Discussions concerning a problem often produces useful information. Various new ideas can be developed through such an exercise. Here the researcher must discuss his or her problem with his or her colleagues and others who have enough experience in the same area or in working on similar problems. This is known as experience survey. Number 5, rephrasing the research problem. Finally, the researcher must seek to rephrase the research problem into a working proposition. After the problem has understood, available literature has taken place and discussion over the problem has taken place. The question has rephrased. Through rephrasing, the researcher puts the research problem in as specific terms as possible so that it may become operationally viable and may help in development of working hypothesis. In addition to what has been stated above, the following points must also be observed while defining a research problem. Number A, technical terms and words or phrase which have used in the statement of the problem should be clearly defined. B, basic assumptions or postulates relating to the research problem should be clearly stated. C, a straightforward statement of the value of the investigation, that is, the criteria for the selection of the problem, should be provided. Number D, the suitability of the time period and the sources of data available must also be considered by the researcher in defining the problem. And E, the scope of the investigation or the limits within which the problem is to be studied must be mentioned explicitly in defining a research problem. So here we are at the end of our discussion of the chapter 2, but before finishing my lecture on the defining the research problem, I want to conclude with some note that the research problem is the problem you are trying to find an answer or solution to. It is the reason you are doing the research. If there is no problem you are seeking to find an answer or solution to, there is no need for research. Therefore, the research problem is important, and in first place, because it is what gets you into research action, is the first place to define the research problem. So finally, we can say that if you do not have a clear understanding of the problem, then you cannot seek the proper conclusion to your research. So thank you very much for your patience listening. Stay safe. Thank you very much.